Imagine a world where the impossible happened, where two ancient arch-enemies, locked in centuries of brutal war, suddenly joined forces. Their singular, terrifying objective: to annihilate one man, the legendary Muslim general Khalid ibn al-Walid. This is the story of Firaz. Welcome, history enthusiasts, to a forgotten chapter of military genius. Prepare to witness an alliance against all odds and a victory that defied belief. By 633 AD, Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of Allah, had carved a path of unparalleled victories across Mesopotamia. His campaigns against the Sasanian Persian Empire were a relentless display of tactical brilliance and unwavering courage. Each victory brought the nascent Islamic state closer to the heart of the Persian realm, threatening its very existence. The Sasanian Empire, once a colossal power, found itself reeling, its armies consistently outmaneuvered. To the west, the Byzantine Roman Empire watched with growing alarm. The rise of a new power on their eastern frontier was a chilling development. They had just concluded a devastating war with Persia, weakening both empires significantly. The thought of a unified Arabian force led by an undefeated general was a nightmare neither Rome nor Persia could afford. Thus, an unprecedented decision was made. Desperate times called for desperate measures. The ancient rivals, the Roman and Persian empires, agreed to a temporary tactical alliance. Their goal? Destroy Khalid. This wasn't just about territory. It was about halting an existential threat to their traditional world order. The stage for this historic clash was Firaz, a strategically vital location on the western bank of the Euphrates River. Khalid's forces, though triumphant, were relatively small, stretched after numerous campaigns. The Allied army, by contrast, was an imposing coalition of Byzantine Romans, Sasanian Persians, and their Arab Christian auxiliaries. Their combined strength vastly outnumbered Khalid's weary troops. The odds seemed insurmountable. But Khalid was no stranger to overwhelming odds. His genius lay in turning impossible situations into decisive victories. He positioned his army with the Euphrates River at their back, a risky move, seemingly cutting off their retreat. The Allied commanders, confident in their numerical superiority, saw this as a fatal error. They believed Khalid was trapped, his army ripe for encirclement and destruction. What they failed to grasp was Khalid's mastery of psychology and terrain. The river was not a barrier, but a wall. He knew his men would fight with unparalleled ferocity, knowing retreat was not an option. Before the main engagement, Khalid employed a classic stratagem, a feigned retreat to lure the enemy into a trap. The Allied forces, eager to finish the trapped Muslim army, pressed forward, breaking their formations in their haste. This was precisely what Khalid had anticipated. Discipline and cohesion were paramount in battle. As the Allied vanguard pushed too far, Khalid unleashed his hidden reserves. His cavalry, swift and deadly, struck at the flanks of the disorganized Allied army, throwing them into further confusion. The main body of Khalid's army, no longer feigning retreat, now surged forward, a disciplined and unified wave. The Allied commanders found themselves in a nightmare scenario. Their grand alliance was unraveling under Khalid's relentless pressure. The battle became a desperate melee. Roman steel clashed with Persian lances, while Khalid's warriors fought with legendary zeal. The river, intended to be Khalid's doom, now became a deadly barrier for the fleeing Allied forces. Many were pushed into its currents, drowning under the weight of their armor and the press of their own panicked comrades. The field of Firaz became a slaughter. The Grand Alliance shattered, its dreams of crushing Khalid drowned in the Euphrates. The victory was absolute. Firaz marked not just another triumph, but a symbolic defeat for the combined might of two world powers. Khalid's strategic brilliance shone brightest here. He had turned their strength into their weakness, their numbers into their undoing. The Battle of Firaz further cemented Khalid ibn al-Walid's legendary status as one of history's greatest military commanders. It sent a clear message. The new power rising from Arabia was a force to be reckoned with, capable of facing any adversary. For the Sasanian Empire, Firaz was another nail in their coffin, signaling the end of their presence in Mesopotamia. The Byzantines, though bruised, would eventually regroup, but the threat from the south had become undeniably real. Firaz proved that even an alliance of traditional superpowers could not overcome sheer military genius and unwavering resolve. It reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the ancient world, paving the way for further Islamic expansion. Khalid ibn al-Walid's legacy is one of continuous triumph, and Firaz stands as a testament to his extraordinary leadership. He never lost a single battle as a commander, a feat almost unparalleled in military history. His campaigns demonstrated innovative tactics, unparalleled cavalry use, and an intuitive understanding of terrain and psychology. The Battle of Firaz remains a crucial, yet often overlooked, moment in world history. It encapsulates the dramatic shifts of power in the 7th century and the emergence of a new global force. The audacity of Rome and Persia uniting, and the sheer audacity of Khalid to defeat them, is a story that deserves to be remembered. Think about the implications. Two ancient rivals, putting aside a millennium of hatred for a common enemy. That enemy was Khalid, and he proved to be more formidable than their combined might. The echoes of Firaz reverberate through the annals of warfare, a masterclass in strategic deception and battlefield command. Every military academy, every strategist could learn from the audacity and precision displayed by Khalid. It was a testament to the belief that the quality of leadership and morale can often overcome numerical disadvantage. The Battle of Firaz, a chapter of history often relegated to footnotes, was in reality a seismic event. It cemented the irreversible decline of Sasanian power in Mesopotamia and heralded the rise of the Caliphate. The sword of Allah had cut through the grandest alliance ever conceived, demonstrating divine favor and unmatched skill. The terror that Khalid inspired in his enemies was palpable. They would try anything, even uniting with their sworn enemy. But Khalid was always one step ahead. His intelligence network was impeccable, his assessment of the enemy's weaknesses flawless. He understood that a large, disparate army, even with superior numbers, could be cumbersome and prone to disunity. The Allied commanders likely struggled with communication and coordination, a fatal flaw when facing a unified force. Khalid exploited these inherent weaknesses with surgical precision, turning the battlefield into his chessboard. He masterfully employed the feigned retreat, a classic maneuver, but executed with such perfection it fooled seasoned generals. The speed and ferocity of his counterattack were legendary, turning the tide in a matter of hours. The Battle of Firaz was not just a military victory, it was a psychological triumph. It demonstrated that the era of Roman and Persian dominance in the East was drawing to a close. A new power, fueled by faith and led by unparalleled commanders, was reshaping the world. The consequences of Firaz rippled across the ancient world, impacting strategic decisions for decades to come. It taught both the Byzantines and Sasanians valuable, albeit painful, lessons about underestimating their new foe. Khalid ibn al-Walid continued his campaigns, leaving a trail of impossible victories in his wake. From the sands of Arabia to the fields of Mesopotamia and beyond, his name became synonymous with triumph. The story of Firaz serves as a powerful reminder that history is full of astonishing turns. That even the most formidable alliances can crumble against true genius and unwavering conviction. The sword of Allah was truly a force of nature, unmatched in his era. His tactics would be studied for centuries, influencing military leaders across different cultures and continents.
The audacity of his position, with the river at his back, became a legendary example of calculated risk. It turned a potential weakness into a strategic advantage, forcing his men to fight without thought of retreat.
And the Allied forces, blinded by their numbers and overconfidence, fell right into his meticulously laid trap. The rivers of Mesopotamia had witnessed countless battles, but none quite like Firaz. A battle where the combined might of two world powers was utterly broken by a single brilliant commander. This clash of titans, the East's most enduring empires, against a rising, dynamic force, left an indelible mark. The name Firaz might not resonate in popular history like Cannae or Gaugamela, but its significance is no less profound. It was a battle that defied expectations, shattered alliances, and cemented the reputation of a military legend.
So the next time you hear of Khalid ibn al-Walid, remember Firaz. Remember the day Rome and Persia, against all historical precedent, united.
And remember how even that colossal alliance buckled and broke under the might of one man's genius. The story of Firaz is a timeless lesson in leadership, strategy, and the unpredictable nature of warfare. A testament to human courage, both in forming desperate alliances and in overcoming overwhelming odds. It is a story that reminds us that history is never static, always dynamic, always surprising. And often, it's the forgotten battles that hold the most profound lessons. The sheer weight of the Allied forces, a force that should have been invincible, was simply no match. Khalid ibn al-Walid etched his name into eternity on that fateful day at Firaz. A triumph of strategic brilliance over sheer numerical superiority. A moment where the world watched as a new era dawned. This epic tale, filled with impossible odds and ultimate triumph, forever changed the course of empires. The Battle of Firaz, a testament to the courage of men and the genius of a commander. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating and impactful battles. The story of Khalid and the Battle of Firaz is one that continues to captivate and inspire. Such stories remind us of the incredible feats humanity is capable of, both in conflict and innovation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates and untold stories from the annals of history. See you